Okay, so today we're diving into one of the most mysterious manuscripts from the 18th century, the Most Holy Trinosophia. It's this gorgeous, super symbolic text that's said to have been written by the legendary Comte de St. Germain, the adventurer, the alchemist, the guy who was supposedly immortal. But here's the thing. This isn't just some abstract text. It's a letter, a guide, written from the most desperate place you can imagine.
Right from the get-go, the very first line just throws us into complete darkness. The author isn't writing this from some cozy study with a nice cup of tea. No, he's a prisoner of the Inquisition. He's got guards, he's in chains, and his body is, as he puts it, broken by torture. This just sets the stage for something incredibly urgent and important.
And that really raises the central question of this whole thing, doesn't it? What kind of secret, what knowledge or power could be so valuable that someone would endure all of that and still feel compelled to write it all down for a friend? That's the mystery we're going to try and unpack here. So this letter is addressed to his friend, a man named Philochatus. And it's more than just a quick note. It's basically a warning and an instruction manual all in one. The author is scrambling to pass on the secrets of what he calls the sublime sciences before it's too late for him.
Just think about the sheer will this must have taken. He says he actually made his own inks from the soot of his lamp, some coins and a few chemicals his jailers missed. He went through all that trouble just to give his friend the power to rise above kings, to be more powerful than anyone. I mean, the stakes could not be any higher.
But this kind of power, it comes with a massive warning label. 2 huge stumbling blocks, as he calls them. The first is pretty straightforward. Don't misuse the power to hurt people. But the second one, the one he's really worried about for his friend, is indiscretion. That need to show off, to get admiration. And this is where it gets personal, because it seems this second danger is exactly what brought him down. He admits it. I spoke, and it all vanished like a cloud. His own need to show off got him captured. So with that pretty grim warning out of the way, the author starts describing the actual journey, the instructions for his friend Philochatus, and it's this incredibly mystical initiation that kicks off at the mouth of a volcano. The first steps are, well, you'll see, they're very specific.
Yeah, this is not a casual hike. It's a full-blown ritual. You've got to go at night, you need a golden bough, you place it on an iron altar at Vesuvius, say these powerful words, and then the whole world shakes. Thunder, smoke, and he's literally pulled down into an abyss. He's left our world behind.
After what feels like an eternity in his narrow tunnel, he finds himself in a square room. This is his first big choice. There are 4 doors, one on each wall, each a different color. The black door is the way he came in, from the north. But where to now?
He thinks about the red door, but nope, it slams shut. He looks over at the blue one, but a noise distracts him. And then a crystal star in the middle of the room starts to flicker. It rises up and just zips right through the dazzling white door to the west. The path isn't chosen by him, it's chosen for him. And so he follows it. Following that star leads him into the next stage, the elemental trials. He has to be tested by both water and by fire. Now the question is, are we talking about literal water and fire here? Or are these symbols for overcoming temptation and facing your deepest fears? First up, he faces this huge body of water. He's exhausted, he's close to drowning, and then he sees this boat. And on the boat is a king wearing a golden crown. The king offers him an easy out, a shortcut to his goal. This is the ultimate temptation, right? Earthly power, relying on a king instead of your own spiritual path. But he's not having it. He rejects the offer with this incredible line, and instantly the king and his boat just sink beneath the waves. And our guy, he's suddenly filled with new energy and gets to the shore no problem. The lesson is crystal clear. Real strength comes from turning your back on worldly power.
He barely has time to catch his breath before he's facing the next trial, fire. A whole lake of burning sulfur is rolling in front of him in flaming waves. He's terrified. But then this thunderous voice, a divine command, orders him to walk right through it. This isn't about being clever. It's a test of pure, unblinking faith in the face of absolute terror.
So he does it. He walks into the flames, and they don't even burn him. He gets to this hall made of 40 columns of fire. In the middle, there's an altar shaped like a serpent. The voice commands him one last time, take the sword and strike the serpent. He smacks it, the sword clangs, and poof, the entire world of fire just vanishes. He's passed the test.
So the trials are finally over. And then this unseen force just grabs him and yanks him out of the earth, shooting him through space at an insane speed. He's leaving the physical world far behind and arriving at his true destination. This is where the journey shifts from being earthly to totally celestial. He finds himself in front of this enormous triangular palace that's just sitting on a bed of clouds. You can see it has these 4 levels of columns: white, black, green, and red, which are all symbolic of different alchemical stages. This is it, the Palace of Sublime Science.
Inside, he's presented to this assembly of 81 sages. The 9 head sages each give him a symbolic gift. These are basically the raw materials for the final, great alchemical work. But there's a catch. The chief sage warns him, these things are useless unless you combine them in the exact order you receive them.
You might think the journey's over, but it's not even close. Getting the gifts and the knowledge is one thing, but actually using them is a whole different ballgame. Now the long final process of transformation begins.
This next part is basically a summary of an incredibly tough process. He spends weeks in these purification rituals. We're talking 16 days of bathing, 27 days crossing these bleak, dark lakes, and then 9 days in an iron tower trying to capture a mystical bird. Every single step is a crucial part of the process. And it all leads to this one final act. He goes back to that first room in the palace, the Hall of Thrones. A single, golden sun appears in the air. Using the gifts he was given, he touches it, and it shatters. But instead of being destroyed, every single tiny piece becomes a brand new, perfect, shining sun. This is it, the grand finale of alchemy, the multiplication of perfection. In that exact moment, a divine voice confirms his success. All the sages, the children of light, rush to congratulate him. The doors to immortality swing wide open, and the veil that blinds normal human eyes is finally lifted. The manuscript ends the entire description of this unbelievable journey with just 2 words. Not "I understood" or "I learned." 2 words: "I saw." It signifies this total, direct, unfiltered perception of reality. He's done it. He's achieved ultimate enlightenment. And that leaves us with the big question. What exactly did we just read? Is the Most Holy Trinosophia the actual journal of a guy who traveled to another dimension? Is it a step-by-step chemistry recipe hidden in a story? Or is it a symbolic map for any of us on a spiritual path? A guide to conquering our own inner demons to reach a higher state of consciousness? The text never tells you. And maybe, just maybe, that's where its real power lies.